Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Push Square and I've finished God of War. I know, it's exciting, right? Now, I know you're all desperate to hear my impressions and I'm going to get into that very quickly, but I did just want to preface this video by stressing that it is spoiler free. Now, to ensure that, I've only included footage from the opening 2 hours of the game, so if you think that the gameplay looks quite simple or there's not a whole lot of environment variety, I promise you that there's so much more to the full game. Now, Sony has kindly requested that we keep a lot of things close to our chest, and I also personally want you to experience this game fresh. So while I'm going to get into my spoiler-free impressions in this video, please do keep in mind that I'm holding back a hell of a lot so that it remains new for you at launch. You'll definitely thank me for it when you play the full game, trust me on that. So with all that said, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more PlayStation stuff, and now let's talk God of War.
Boy.
Think I'm afraid of you! You're nothing to me!
Boy,
Nothing!
look at me! Look at me, boy! Boy, look at me.
We did it.
You are not ready.
What? Are you serious?
So I think God of War Ascension was definitely entertaining, but it showed that Kratos had lost the Midas touch. Sony Santa Monica's reluctance to experiment with a formula that had already been recycled 5 times prior left one of PlayStation's best known protagonists in a precarious position. Was there even a way back for the Ghost of Sparta? Well, on the evidence of this absolutely sublime PlayStation 4 soft reboot, all that was required was a change of perspective, mythology, and design philosophy. Easy, right?
Ow! What are you...
Try again.
Why are you doing that?
Too slow. Try again.
Cut it out!
Weak. Again. Again.
Stop it!
Again! Your anger, you can get lost in it. The path ahead is difficult. And you, Atreus, are clearly not ready.
Now look, this is a special game and it's evident from the opening exchanges. It's a sequel set many years after the Greek trilogy, and Kratos is now a father taking refuge in the Norse realm of Midgard with his son Atreus. At the very beginning of the 25-hour plus storyline, the pair are preparing to cremate the Ghost of Sparta's late wife. And the title lets the outrageously articulated character models reveal their emotions, as the title leans on subtlety for the first time since its inception over a decade ago. This is a different kind of God of War game, and it's all the better for it. There's actual nuance to Kratos' character now. He definitely still exhibits the blind rage of his predecessor, but this is very much a coming-of-age story for both him and his offspring. After the events that transpired with Zeus, the protagonist is learning to actually become a father, and similarly his son is discovering what it means to be a god, all while the pair journey through several of the Norse mythology's 9 realms. The game's actually structured similarly to a modern Tomb Raider title, allowing for exploration while simultaneously funneling you through its pristinely presented fantasy world. There are a handful of side quests to collect, there are gameplay based challenges to complete, and there are no shortage of collectibles to snag. All things said, with the dozen or so optional bosses factored in, there's well over 50 hours of high quality gameplay here. It virtually eclipses the running time of all previous 6 games combined. but this is very much one of those games that encourages you to play your own way. There are loads of mini puzzles to complete in practically every environment, but if the dopamine drip feed of solving these doesn't do it for you, then you're free to push on, minus the loot obviously. Speaking of which, for the first time in the franchise, Kratos is deeply customizable, with his armour and axe including numerous slots for you to alter the character's attributes and even his abilities. I definitely think there will be some old school character action fans that will balk at the absence of a Street Fighter-esque move list, but there's a grace to the title's combat system that rekindles the frantic feel of old releases, despite the change in perspective. With the camera pulled behind the protagonist, a new quick turn button is essential, while Atreus will actually bring your attention to incoming threats in a similar manner to the voices in Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It's fast, it's fluid, and it's appropriately ferocious. But there are definitely wrinkles to the action that are all new. Kratos can actually throw his axe now, stalling enemies before recalling it. This addition, which seems so small on the surface, is weaved into practically every facet of the campaign, as it's used for puzzles, navigation, and much more. Similarly, Atreus is assigned his own button prompt, and he can be called upon during combat to stun or attract the attention of antagonists. There are some foes that you can't even beat without the youngster's input. And this mechanic really helps build the bond between father and son, because there's a real arc to the way that the relationship between the pair unfolds. While moods do change a little hurriedly in places, the character development is more on par with what we've come to expect from, say, a Naughty Dog title, which is a compliment by the way. Impressively, the game balances its dark subject matter and fairly heavy tones with a real laugh-out-loud sense of humour, owing to a superb supporting cast. And of course, it looks and sounds absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. Guerrilla Games may have raised the visual bar with last year's Horizon Zero Dawn, but God of War releases its Spartan rage and lifts it ever higher. This is an absurdly beautiful game, blending hyper-realism with outright fantasy to memorable effect. The character models are staggering, but they're arguably exceeded by the remarkable environment art. And yes, there are tons of truly stunning set pieces which punctuate the plot. The most impressive thing to me is that the game starts out like a rocket and it rarely takes time to breathe. There are a handful of very minor lulls, and the odd climbing sequence may grate in subsequent playthroughs, but for the most part it's meticulously paced. The title does a brilliant job of constantly introducing new mechanics, meaning there's always something new to play with before you're ushered along to the next big thing. And this kind of design philosophy will extract the completionist in you, I'm sure, as areas are revisited in a Metroidvania fashion, opening up new pathways and secrets that simply couldn't be accessed before. It's a really wonderfully designed game that never feels like it's running short on ideas, and its core story has more than enough surprises to keep you engaged throughout its substantial running time. With multiple difficulty tiers and a hearty helping of side content too, this is as fulfilling as single player releases come. So all in all, I know this has been a fairly short review, all things considered, because I have so much to say, but I don't want to spoil anything. I think God of War is a special game. This reimagining of the famous PlayStation franchise elevates the series in unexpected ways, without forgetting the core tenets that made Kratos a fan favourite to begin with. This is an absolutely sprawling single player epic with an abundance of secrets and a storyline that keeps you hooked from start to finish. While it borrows liberally from other action adventure greats, its unique combat and outstanding art direction separate it from its immediate peers. It's a truly impressive achievement. But I want to hear your thoughts about God of War. Have you pre-ordered this game? Are you going to buy it at launch? Are you going to wait until it drops in price? Are there any questions you have about the game or the campaign that you'd like to send to me, and I can try and answer them for you in the comment section, or make full videos on them if enough people of you ask them? Let me know in the comment section below. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're looking forward to God of War. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. and thank you so much for watching.
Leave.